Tonight on CTV News at 6, student walkout protesting a possible teacher strike.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Where did the budget go?
Hundreds cut class and descend on the ledge.
We just really want to see some change or make it known that we're upset.
I decided to do this on Friday. All weekend I was getting signatures.
Nomination day for municipal election hopefuls.
And all of a sudden I'm a candidate. I'm like, holy moly.
And changes to the Canadian game.
I think it's important to just sort of give this a chance and see where it goes.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. Hundreds of high school students from across Edmonton are hoping to have their voices heard ahead of a potential teachers' strike. That could happen 2 weeks from today if the province and teachers' union don't reach an agreement. Mayor Takash spoke with the teens about what they're doing to bring attention to the issue.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Where did the budget go?
Hundreds of high school students out of class in support of their teachers.
We don't agree with how they're being treated. We think that they should be paid more. We think that our class sizes should be smaller. We should have more supports at the school and just in general a better education.
Nyla Ahmadzai is in grade 11 at McNally High School. She helped organize the rally.
We went door to door. We told people about it. We got signatures for petitions. We raised over $2,000 for supplies for this event.
Students from several different schools occupied the legislature grounds for a few hours.
Obviously McNally, J. Percy Page is coming, Jasper Place, Victoria, Wagner, Strathcona, Ainley.
Representatives from the government and the Edmonton Public School Board were invited.
The reason why you're seeing so many of the Alberta NDP official opposition caucus down here is because we support students, we support teachers, and we support public education.
Members of the Alberta NDP spoke at the rally, receiving loud cheers from students.
It's thrilling to see this many students doing this because they're being active and they're using their voices in a really engaging way, and I'm really hoping that for once the Premier will listen to them.
In a statement, Alberta's Education Minister says, "We value the voices of students and we respect their right to peacefully protest." Government negotiations with the Alberta Teachers Association continue.
Yeah, we just really want to see some change or make it known that we're upset.
Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
Premier Danielle Smith says the province has not made a decision about invoking the notwithstanding clause on 3 laws impacting transgender people. An internal memo obtained by the Canadian Press from Alberta's Justice Department shows the UCP government is exploring ways to protect the legislation. The 3 laws include restricting youth access to puberty blockers, requiring parental consent for name and pronoun changes at schools, and barring transgender girls from playing in female sports. During her weekend call-in radio show, Smith said while she's prepared to let the courts resolve the legal challenges, she will not rule out invoking the notwithstanding clause. The clause allows governments to override certain sections of the charter for up to 5 years.
That we can make the case that we shouldn't be doing medical interventions on children that will sterilize them. It just seems so obvious to me that is the case, and that is ultimately what the courts will decide. So I'm prepared to go to court and battle that out. I think we need to. But if it turns out that the court process may take years and years and years to resolve, then we may have to take that measure.
Cabinet is expected to consider the proposal October 21st, shortly before the legislature reconvenes. Edmonton police say a former daycare worker facing sexual assault charges has fled the country. EPS says it's working to bring Dilpreet Singh Chawla back to Canada. He's wanted on Canada-wide arrest warrants for sexual assault and sexual interference offences. Earlier this month, the mother told CTV News her child was abused at Willowbrae Academy Mill Creek Daycare. Court documents show 3 additional charges have been laid. Chawla was an educator at the daycare for several years. Edmonton police say there is no immediate risk to the public. A man accused in a shooting death at an Edmonton Community Hall has been found not guilty. Aliner Mohammed Musa was charged with manslaughter after a mass shooting at a party inside the Duggan Community Hall more than 4 years ago. He was also facing 4 aggravated assault charges. 6 people were injured in the shootout. One died after being shot by multiple people. A judge ruled the Crown could not prove beyond a reasonable doubt whether Musa was the shooter. He found Musa not guilty on all charges. Musa is also facing charges in a lounge shooting from 2022. His trial on those charges is scheduled for next year. A search team will work overnight to try to find a 5-year-old boy missing in southern Alberta in the Crow's Nest Pass area. Darius McDougall was hiking with his family near Island Lake Campground yesterday morning when he disappeared. The area off Highway 3 near the Alberta-BC border includes steep terrain. Dozens of search and rescue members, RCMP and conservation officers are looking for him. McDougall suffers from a medical condition that police say may prevent him from responding to others. The mother of a missing teen is renewing calls for help in the search. 14-year-old Samuel Bird disappeared nearly 4 months ago.
We acknowledge that Edmonton Police Department has taken steps to follow through on the tips and information shared. We appreciate their efforts in seeking justice for my son, Samuel. But our work does not stop here. We continue to need searchers, volunteers, community members to come forward. We are covering a vast amount of land and water. Everyone is welcome to come help.
Bird has been missing since June 1st. He was last seen in Edmonton's Kenora neighborhood. There's a 24-hour command post at Dawson Park where searchers are keeping track of mapping and logistics. Last week, police executed a search warrant on a home in relation to Bird's disappearance. Police have not shared any details about the search. On Saturday in Dawson Park, Bird's grandmother spoke publicly for the first time.
I'm not looking for pity. All I need is my grandson to be found. And not people are searching every day on a river. I worry about them, what they're doing. I worry. Find him. Someone out there knows where he is.
Bird's mother says aside from searching, people can share Samuel's missing posters in a positive way to help spread awareness. The deadline to enter to run in next month's municipal election has now passed. Jeremy Thompson was at City Hall this morning while candidates submitted their papers to officially enter the race. And Jer, some candidates really got down to the wire.
Yeah, Jeff, the pieces are now all in place for next month's election. And you're right. Well, a number of people have had their names on the ballot since January. A few people put their names forward just this morning with only a few minutes to spare. Now, they got help through the nomination process with city staff with Edmonton elections this morning. Anyone wanting to become mayor, a city councillor, or a school board trustee had to submit signatures and make a payment by noon today. 2 school board candidates spoke to reporters after registering just minutes before the deadline.
It was a whirlwind. Like I said, I decided to do this on Friday. All weekend I was getting signatures, and all of a sudden I'm a candidate. I'm like, holy moly.
Definitely not a last-minute decision. I definitely having a lot of conversations over the summer, especially in and around my community, and so, yeah, just happy to be last today.
Both candidates say they were motivated to run for the public school board because of actions the provincial government has taken on education in recent months, citing the book ban and ongoing labor dispute with teachers. Now, 13 people have put their names forward to run for mayor. Another 81 are vying for the remaining 12 seats on council. 46 people have put their names forward for school board trustee positions. And now that they're in, they have until noon tomorrow to back out. Jeff, Election Day is October 20th.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. That's Jeremy Thompson live at City Hall. People from Mamio Beach have voted to keep their summer village status and not let Wetaskiwin County take over operations. The community voted 256 in favor to remain an independent summer village with 46 opposed. The vote follows a viability report from the Ministry of Municipal Affairs after a failed wastewater project left the village $5.5 million in debt.
I don't think it's about the finances. I think it's about the culture and our unique identity and the fact that we have a community that's really proud of that.
The mayor says they're in an active lawsuit hoping to recoup some funds for people who paid a special tax of almost $20,000 each to settle the debt. The CEO and president of the Edmonton Elks says he's excited about the changes coming to the CFL. New rules include smaller end zones and pushed back uprights. As Nerman Issa reports, the league and the team say this will make the game more exciting.
End zone shot, look into the corner. Julian Grant's got it. Touchdown, Edmonton.
The Canadian Football League wants to see more touchdowns scored during games. Today, the commissioner revealed new rules and changes to do just that.
Our game must continue to evolve and modernize for our players, our fans, and our partners.
The league says structural changes to the game will take place in 2027. That includes moving the goalposts to the back of the end zones. The end zones will also be smaller, dropping from 20 yards to 15. The field will be shortened from 110 yards to 100. The width will stay the same.
It will make going for a touchdown instead of settling for a field goal more attractive. It will deliver more unobstructed sight lines for fans, viewers, and television cameras.
Edmonton Elks president and CEO Chris Morris says this will be good for the growth of the game.
I think it's important to just sort of give this a chance and see where it goes. There's been a lot of thought put into this by our commissioner and by our board of governors, and I think there's some real evidence showing that it could create some positive impact in our game.
Morris also believes these changes could bring in a new audience.
There's a big incentive to go for it on third down and to try to go for it in that zone, which I think will lead to more touchdowns. So I think in that way it'll make the game more exciting.
The changes were the big topic of the day over at Edmonton Sports Talk Radio.
This could open up the door for more and more coaching decisions, more gambles, and then what do fans like more than anything else? Picking that apart on post-game shows and the day after the game.
Changes that are coming in 2026 include a new Rouge point system, a 35-second play clock that starts as soon as the previous play is whistled dead, and team benches on opposite sides of the field. Nair Misa, CTV News, Edmonton.
One of the Oilers' top defensemen is hoping to impress management of Canada's Olympic team this season.
It's definitely a goal of mine, yeah, but it's the focus on the start of the year, right? That's goal right now, focus on the Oilers, and hopefully good things will come from that.
This will be Evan Bouchard's first opportunity to crack Canada's Olympic roster. The games are in February in Italy. The last time NHL players were eligible for the Olympics was in Sochi in 2014. The Oilers head coach feels Bouchard's doing the right things to earn a spot.
I think there was a lot of uncertainty about how good he was. Obviously, they saw him in playoffs in 2024 and, was outstanding. And he was able to follow that up with another solid playoff round. So, I feel it'd be very difficult to keep him off. I see him every night. I'm obviously biased.
The Oilers' preseason schedule resumes tomorrow night when the team visits the Winnipeg Jets. And an Edmonton Oilers fan ran into some of his favorite actors from Lord of the Rings while leaving Rogers Place on Sunday night.
They were introducing themselves and everything. Billy noticed I had my phone in my hand, and he was like, would you like to get a photo? I'm like, oh, my God, yes, please. I didn't hesitate. Pulled out my phone and was able to get a picture with them and everything. I was crouching down a little bit, if you couldn't really tell in the photo, because I'm much taller than them, and I didn't realize how much taller I was.
Will Wainich spotted Elijah Wood, Sean Astin, Dominic Monaghan, and Billy Boyd on Jasper Ave last night. The four actors starred as Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin in the Lord of the Rings trilogy and were in town for the Edmonton Expo. Wainich says they told him they had a great time.
And they noticed that I was wearing my jersey, and they were telling me that they were wearing their own that had 25 on the back and their characters' names on everything.
All four jerseys were signed by the actors and will be auctioned off in support of the Oilers Community Foundation. All right, Josh is out and about tonight. Southwest Edmonton. What brings you there, Josh?
Alberta Cancer Foundation Lottery, and we have Ryan Kelly with the Alberta Cancer Foundation to talk a little bit more about that and the big deadline that's coming up on Thursday. But first, let's talk about where the proceeds from this lottery are going and how important it is to the Alberta Cancer Foundation.
So Alberta Cancer Foundation Lottery tickets are a really important way of how we fund two really important programs. The first is our patient financial assistance program. 600 cancer patients every year rely on us for financial support, and tickets really support that. The second is our clinical trials program in Alberta. So at any given time, there's 200 trials happening in Alberta, and clinical trials are really that glimmer of hope for people who've lost all hope through all the current treatment options. So clinical trials is how we support those folks.
Yeah, and I mean the Cash and Cars Lottery, which we're now calling the Alberta Cancer Foundation Lottery, has done a lot to support that over the years.
Yeah, after about 25 years, it's become a bit of an institution in Alberta. It's a really important vehicle for how we support patient care. But, you know, everything changes, and we thought, you know, there's a much better opportunity for us to better connect what your ticket does with the impact that it has on cancer patients. And, you know, all of us are impacted by cancer in some way. Sure. And this lottery ticket is just such an easy, simple way and a fun way to be able to make a difference in someone's life.
Yeah, and because you could win big. Tell me about the grand prizes.
Well, we've got actually one of our biggest grand prizes ever in the history of this lottery, but we're really, you know, really happy to be partnering with Kimberly Homes here in Edmonton. So if you win the grand prize, you can take home a Kimberly dream home and $1.25 million, or you could just, frankly, just take the $2.25 million and walk away a multi-millionaire.
Yeah. Listen, this house is beautiful and just sort of a depiction of what you could build for $1.25 million. But you also get the 1.25 on top of that house. Okay, very quickly, Thursday at midnight, the early bird deadline.
Yeah, so if you get in for the early bird deadline, you're in for a 2025 BMW convertible, which would look great in the garage of your brand new $1.25 million house. Sure. But you got to get in by midnight on Thursday, and albertacancerlottery.ca is the way to do that.
Outstanding. And then you get your tickets for that. You're also in for all the other prizing, thousands of prizes, as you were saying. Ryan, thank you so much. Fantastic house. Great cause, albertacancerlottery.ca to help support that, and great weather as well. We'll get to your forecast later in the newscast.
Thank you, Josh. Still ahead, mobile mammography.
It's great to have these trailers come to our community versus driving to the city.
State-of-the-art technology is bringing breast cancer screenings to remote communities. Also ahead.
Our hearts and are full of joy with what happened today.
The recognition of an ancestral burial site in our city.
Tuesday on Your Morning will help you through what's becoming a trickier commute.
Get out your sunglasses. Be careful. There have been a lot of collisions.
Tune in and stay informed. We'll see you at 6.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Women in rural Alberta now have access to state-of-the-art, potentially life-saving technology. The Alberta Cancer Foundation and Primary Care Alberta are rolling out 2 new mobile breast screening units. CTV's Amanda Anderson reports.
This trailer is designed to get attention about the importance of breast cancer screening.
The wrap is very bright and cheery, and I think it just kind of eases people's fears because mammography and breast cancer is scary.
It's one of 2 new mobile screening units, bringing a life-saving screening program to women in rural Alberta communities.
They really can't travel. It's too difficult or time-consuming or just costly to travel into a center, so we bring the service to them. It just makes it easier and better chance that they'll actually have the mammogram done.
Mary Mueller says she's accessed the mobile clinic at least 6 times in the past decade.
It's very important for access. It's great to have these trailers come to our community versus driving to the city.
So this is the actual exam room.
The new units are replacing the program's old trailers and are designed to not only be more comfortable for patients, but provide the latest breast cancer detection technology.
The mammogram technology has changed, so it can be smaller, it can be more comfortable for women. It can actually then have higher rates of detection, be more sensitive. So really want to make sure that people have access to the best screening technology.
More than 500,000 mammograms have been performed since the screening program began in 1991.
The mobile breast screening unit is incredibly important to the foundation. Breast cancer is one of the most diagnosed cancer in women in Alberta. And we also know that the earlier you catch and detect cancer, the better the survival rates are.
The Alberta Cancer Foundation still needs to raise $1.2 million to help cover costs for the mobile screening units, a service women like Mueller say is vital.
I know many people that have been detected with breast cancer through the mobile. It's very important that you do go and get your regular checkup.
The units will make regular stops in more than 100 communities throughout the province. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The city, EPCOR, and the Papaschase First Nation have recognized a historic gravesite in Rossdale Flats. A sacred pipe ceremony was held in the area today. In 2001, the Papaschase First Nation fought EPCOR's planned expansion of the Rossdale Flats power plant. The historic gravesite was officially recognized in 2005. Officials say today's ceremony is a meaningful act of reconciliation.
our hearts and are full of joy with what happened today, because this is the first step towards unity. It's a creator's law. That's creator's law. Unity. Wakotowin. That's our Cree law.
Papa's First Nation Chief Darlene Missick says today was especially significant ahead of the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation next week. Coming up, changes in the clubhouse and on the course.
I hope that my daughter sees me and how much fun I'm having, and that she joins me as well.
Why more and more women are taking up golf.
It is the first day of autumn, and for the first time in a long time, it's actually going to start to feel a little more like autumn. Not super cold, but a lot cooler than it has been the past few weeks. Full at your 5 to 10-day forecast right after the break.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Here's a live look from above Victoria Golf Course and Driving Range. As the golf season nears its end in Edmonton, golfers are getting in as much tee time as the fall will allow. It follows the season where more and more women picked up the clubs. As CTV's Nariman Issa reports, it's part of a cross-Canada trend.
Friends Amanda Ramy and Tessa Wittig have spent a lot of time at the golf course this summer.
We wanted to have like a nice outside summer activity that we could kind of play with, maybe make new friends, be outside, have some fun, be a little active.
They say they noticed more of their friends were hitting the links.
I see people out golfing all the time that I never even would have pegged for a golfer. I feel like it's become such a social sport now, too.
New stats show more people picked up the sport during the pandemic. According to Golf Canada, the number of women who signed up for golf memberships was 1.6 million in 2023, an increase of 100,000 from 2021.
And you also can't let the guys have all the fun, too, because it used to be such a male-dominated and oriented and dominated sport.
Christine Murawani is one of the co-founders of the Women of Leisure and Fun group. The group is hosting its first tournament at the end of September.
We ourselves have attended a lot of tournaments this year where they were kind of just lacking in the fun, welcoming, social element, and we kind of wanted to create that vibe ourselves and do better.
She says the sold-out event will be a place where women can play, network, and have fun without added pressure.
And I'm seeing more 30s and 20s year olds pick up the sport and kind of bring a new energy to the game.
Murawani has been playing for decades. She says she wants to inspire the next generation of golfers.
You know, I hope that my daughter sees me and how much fun I'm having, and that she joins me as well.
Getting more girls having fun on the fairways. Nariman Issa, CTV News, Edmonton.
All right, we're now a few hours into fall. Josh, it's been nice so far.
Yeah, I mean, temperatures got into the low 20s again today. The weekend was a record-tying 29.4 degrees on Saturday. That tied the previous record for the 20th of September from 1922. Yesterday, 24. Today, it looks like 22 will end up as the daytime high. And I think we've probably seen the end of the 25 or hotter days. Still some low 20s on the way over the next little bit, but not quite as hot as it was on Saturday. Take a look outside right now with the River Valley Skycam. It's brought to you by Action Furnace. Action Furnace fixed records free. 21 degrees right now after hitting 22 for a daytime high earlier in the day. 21 in Fort McMurray, 18 for the high in Grand Prairie, and 20 in Red Deer. You can see we've had some fairly thick cloud cover off to the west and northwest of the Edmonton area. Little bit of patchy clouds slid through the Edmonton region. We've got some clearing off to the west of us now, so a few clouds through this evening and overnight tonight, but nothing all that thick. That heavier cloud cover should all stay well to the northwest of us. You can see it feeding in from southwest to northeast. That's the back edge of the upper ridge, this big bubble of warm air that we've had in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, and that will either collapse Wednesday or Thursday. I'm thinking it's probably Thursday, but as you'll see here in a moment, this modeling has it sliding off to the southeast on Thursday. Regardless, tomorrow should be another sunny day here in the Edmonton area. You'll see some more clouds in northwestern Alberta, again on the back edge of that upper ridge, and maybe some showers late Wednesday or late tomorrow night in northwestern Alberta. There's Wednesday morning. Pretty good chance for some rain from Jasper up through the Whitecourt areas, maybe some scattered showers in northeastern Alberta. And again, this model has this ridge breaking down Wednesday and a chance of showers midday Wednesday. I think it's pushing that ridge through a little too quick. I think it probably doesn't collapse until sometime Thursday. So we'll see how this plays out over the next 24 to 36 hours. Come back tomorrow, have a little better handle on that. But Wednesday midday would be a slight chance, a little better chance Thursday evening for some more showers here in the Edmonton area after a nice rain pushed through the Edmonton region last night. 21 degrees in Edmonton right now. It's 19 in Fort McMurray, 18 in Grand Prairie, and 20 in Red Deer. And it's been a little breezy through the afternoon hours, about 15 gusting to 30 kilometers per hour, but that wind will die down through this evening and overnight tonight. Should see wind out of the west-southwest at about 5 to 10 kilometers per hour. 16 degrees mid-evening, on our way to a low of about 9 by tomorrow morning, which is a lot milder than it was this morning. This morning we woke up to temperatures at 6 degrees in the city, which is no worse than average. Tomorrow should be in the 8 or 9 degree range. By lunchtime tomorrow, we'll be up to about 20 and then into the 22, 23 degree range. And sunny with a few clouds tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures will cool a little bit Wednesday with that increased cloud cover and that slight risk of a midday shower, about 17 or 18 for a high Wednesday. We're back up to 20 on Thursday with a chance of evening showers, and then behind that cold front, we'll drop back into the 17 to 20 range for highs Friday and Saturday, with mostly cloudy skies on the way for late Friday and through the day Saturday. Long range forecast has still some 20 to 22 degree highs early next week, but as October starts, we'll get back a little closer to average, somewhere around 17 or 18 degrees. So, I mean, it's not cold at all, really, through the next 10 days, which takes us into early October. But after seeing 12 days of 25 degrees or hotter in the first 3 weeks of September, this is a cool down from where we've been, average to slightly above average for the next 10 days. Again, it's the Alberta Cancer Foundation Lottery, and you can go to albertacancerlottery.ca to get your tickets on that and help support the foundation. If you get them by midnight Thursday, that's the early bird prize deadline, you're in for a new BMW and $125,000 cash. The grand prize, $1.25 million from Kimberly Homes to build a home. And on top of that, another $1.25 million. So again, albertacancerlottery.ca.
All right, thank you, Josh. Still ahead, official recognition.
As we meet, civilians are targeted and international law trampled in Gaza, the Ukraine, Sudan, and beyond.
Canada joins other G7 nations in recognizing a Palestinian state. And
it's so scary to think that we're now going to be creating a stigma against mobs.
The potential ramifications of a medical claim by the President of the United States.
You buy the music of Star Wars with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
World leaders are in New York City this week at the United Nations. Front and center is the question of Palestinian statehood. As CTV's Judy Trin reports, more than 150 countries, including most recently Canada, have officially recognized Palestine.
As we meet, civilians are targeted and international law trampled in Gaza, the Ukraine, Sudan, and beyond.
As the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly opens, growing support for Palestinian statehood dominates the agenda. 3 G7 nations, Britain, France, and Canada, are recognizing the state of Palestine to apply political pressure to end the war in Gaza.
We have to push on this now because, as I say, the possibility
in absolute violation of the UN Charter and an absolute violation of international law, of self-determination for the Palestinian peoples is being erased.
Carney says Hamas would not have a role in governance. Instead, Canada, in a coordinated effort with like-minded countries, will work with the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank toward a two-state solution in a plan for peace that could also call for troops.
There are many proposals, as I suspect you're aware, from a variety of Arab states, combination of Arab states and European states, to which Canada would be party.
It has been nearly 2 years since the October 7th attacks, but Israel's prime minister has vowed not to stop the war until Hamas is eradicated.
The starvation and devastation are utterly intolerable.
It is not diplomacy. When Hamas is praising this conference and calling it the fruit of October 7th, we know it's a problem.
4 of the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council, Britain, France, Russia, and China, recognize Palestine, except for the United States.
He feels this does not do anything to release the hostages, which is the primary goal right now in Gaza, does nothing to end this conflict and bring this war to a close. And frankly, he believes it's a reward to Hamas.
U.S. President Donald Trump will make his stance clear when he speaks in front of the UN General Assembly on Tuesday. Right now, 150 nations recognize the state of Palestine, but the one country that has the most influence on Israel, the United States, does not. Judy Trin, CTV News, New York.
U.S. President Donald Trump is linking autism in children to the use of Tylenol during pregnancy. The medical claim has been debated for years and today is being strongly contested by the makers of the pain medication. CTV's Michael Couture reports.
U.S. President Donald Trump made the announcement late this afternoon with his health secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The FDA will issue a physician's notice about the risk of taking acetaminophen during pregnancy and begin the process to initiate a safety label change. There is one exception. Donald Trump says that pregnant women can take the drug if they have a high fever. Now, all of this comes a month after a review of previous data written by epidemiologists which found evidence of a link between acetaminophen and the use of that drug during pregnancy and neurodevelopmental disorders like ADHD and autism. The FDA and European Medicines Agency have both looked at the evidence and decided the findings are inconclusive. Now, in a statement, Kenvue, the makers of Tylenol, say, quote, "We believe independent sound science clearly shows that taking acetaminophen does not cause autism. We strongly disagree with any suggestion otherwise and are deeply concerned with the health risk this poses for expecting mothers." Still, the Trump administration is moving forward.
Taking Tylenol is not good. All right, I'll say it. It's not good. For this reason, they are strongly recommending that women limit Tylenol use during pregnancy unless medically necessary. That's, for instance, in cases of extremely high fever, that you feel you can't tough it out, you can't do it. I guess there's that. It's a small number of cases, I think.
Now, in a statement, Health Canada says acetaminophen is safe and effective for relieving pain and reducing fever when used as recommended, including during pregnancy and breastfeeding. Michael Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now, Trump's claim is already having ripple effects far beyond the medical community. Adrian Gobriel spoke to families living with autism.
When young Luca was just 3 years old, his mother, Christina Kalura, received confirmation of what she already suspected.
My thought process automatically turned to not what he can't do, but what he can do.
The medical claim being made by the Trump administration has left her fuming.
I'm literally shaking as I'm talking about it because it's so scary to think that we're now going to be creating a stigma against moms.
What type of stigma do you believe a mother such as yourself could now be facing?
What did you do when you were pregnant to cause, and I can't even say it, cause your child to have autism?
Kalura isn't alone.
When I was pregnant with my daughter, who is on the spectrum, I didn't take any medication at that time, so there was no Tylenol in the mix, and she's autistic.
Alina Cameron's daughter, Fiona, is 10 years old. Cameron is the president of the Ontario Autism Coalition. She's also an epidemiologist.
There's been language coming out of the United States recently that is very troubling to the larger autism community here in Canada.
This study, released by the American Medical Association journal JAMA, investigated use of acetaminophen during pregnancy and children's risk of autism, ADHD, and intellectual disability among nearly 2.5 million children in Sweden. It found that acetaminophen use during pregnancy was not associated with children's risk of autism, ADHD, or intellectual disability in sibling-controlled analyses.
The overwhelming consensus is that Tylenol is safe during pregnancy. Tylenol is probably safer than many of the other over-the-counter medications like Advil and ibuprofen.
For Kalura, she's trying to take the day's news from south of the border in stride.
Our main focus should be on the supports and the therapies and supporting our children of all needs and abilities.
Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Less than a week after being suspended indefinitely, ABC owner Disney says Jimmy Kimmel Live will be back on air tomorrow. The company says it initially made the suspension because it felt some of Kimmel's comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. Disney says it has spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Kimmel. The show was pulled over comments Kimmel made in the wake of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. His removal sparked concerns about free speech in the United States. Coming up on CTV News at 6, counting on copper.
The demand for copper is not going to go down.
Why copper mine expansion is a main part of Ottawa's nation-building products. Plus,
and that's like one of my dream jobs is to be a carpenter and to build stuff for the city.
A hands-on experience to engage the next generation of skilled trades workers in our province. And there is a live look above Grote Road from the CTV drone. Just a few hours now into fall, and the weather's been wonderful so far. Stay with us.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could win $20,000. For your chance to win, watch CTV Your Morning Edmonton, weekday mornings 6 to 9.
Looking at today's market numbers, the Canadian dollar traded for 72 cents U.S. Oil lost 12 cents, closing the day at $62.28 a barrel. Gold was up more than $69 on the day. The TSX and Dow Jones finished the day higher, up 190 points and 66 points respectively. Two of Ottawa's 5 so-called nation-building projects recommended for approval are linked to copper production. The critical mineral is becoming even more valuable as the world shifts to greener energy. CTV's Alison Bamford reports.
The shiny material is actually chalcopyrite.
Shiny and gold, but it's actually copper, and this ore is becoming more valuable.
If the plan going forward is to electrify everything, then you're going to need more copper.
Copper conducts electricity. You can find it in any home or building, technology like phones, computers, and vehicles. It's especially critical for electric cars, AI data centers, and a greener future.
The demand for copper is not going to go down.
But Canadian copper production has, dropping nearly 25% between 2014 and 2023. That's where Saskatchewan's McIlvenna Bay project comes into play. The copper and zinc mine is expected to begin operation next year. It's one of 5 nation-building projects selected by the federal government in hopes of bolstering the country's supply.
We're really looking at developing a mining district here. We know there's more copper in the ground.
Canada has less than 1% of the global copper reserves. Chile has the highest percentage. BC and Ontario account for most of our country's production. Geologists say more copper is out there, but exploration costs money, and it doesn't come with a guarantee.
We've gone a long time without a new copper zinc mine coming into production in Canada, let alone Saskatchewan. So I think it's going to really help focus even more investment.
Along with Saskatchewan's mining project, an expansion to the Red Chris mine in northwest BC also made Ottawa's list. That project is expected to increase Canada's annual copper production by more than 15%. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
NATE is giving students a chance to explore careers in the skilled trades. 140 high school students went to NATE's Apprenticeship Day event. They were able to participate in workshops demonstrating trades like carpentry, electrical, and cabinet making. Liam Casebeer hopes to have a career in carpentry. He says this opportunity helps prepare for what's to come.
It helps me plan my next few years of my life and get ready for the work later in my life and get ready for the trades and for carpentry. And that's like one of my dream jobs is to be a carpenter and to build stuff for the city.
And so the average age used to be 28 of those students starting a skilled trade. It is coming down. So now we're seeing that trending more towards 27, which definitely indicates more students are coming out of high school, or at least they're starting the skilled trades program a lot earlier than traditionally.
NATE trains more than 10,000 apprentices, skilled trades and technology diploma students each year. The Central Alberta United Way is celebrating a major milestone as it launches this year's fundraising campaign. The group is marking 60 years of work, which has raised more than $52 million. It says there's a growing need for support in Central Alberta. Over 38,000 people live with low or limited incomes, and 17% of children and teens live in poverty. The group started this year's fundraising with a 5K run on Sunday. The next event is a whiskey tasting November 20th. A new report says Canadian eateries are being strained by rising operational costs and fewer customers. Restaurants Canada says 3 in 4 Canadians are dining out less. It links the change to the high cost of living. The organization says businesses are also having to keep up with the growing price of food, labor, and insurance. The report suggests 41% of restaurants were either operating at a loss or breaking even as of June. Restaurants Canada says the findings show an alarming trend for the food service industry, which is under pressure to raise prices and reduce staff. Still to come, Tickled Pink.
What did you name it?
Emily.
Why?
Because I like that name.
A little girl makes a rare discovery in eastern Canada. Stay with us.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV, starting at 7 with E-Talk.
Mother and daughter are celebrating a rare find in Cape Breton. CTV's Ryan McDonald has a closer look at the pink grasshopper and the reason behind the odd hue.
It's a rare discovery made by 8-year-old Abigail Boudreau while she was playing in the grass outside her home in Louisdale, Nova Scotia, Monday evening.
She was off in the grass, and all of a sudden, all I hear is, "I found a pink grasshopper!" And she came running with her hands clasped together as tight as she could hold them.
Today, the grade 2 student brought the pink grasshopper to school inside a jar with some other normal-colored grasshoppers that she has caught.
What did you name it?
Emily.
Why?
Because I like that name.
But Emily hasn't only been a show-and-tell topic of sorts for Abigail. Her mom, who teaches pre-primary at the school, also couldn't help showing the insect off.
For me, it was one of those things like I couldn't keep this to myself. This is so cool. I had to bring it to school. I had to show it to everybody. I took my lunch break on Tuesday going around to each class, making sure every person got to see it.
So why is the grasshopper pink, and how rare is this anyway? We caught up today with a retired bug expert to find out a bit more.
In this case, what's happened is the genes controlling the red have expressed much more strongly than the genes controlling the black. So essentially, we end up with something that is reddish pink.
He adds that rare colors could also occur in some other critters, like snakes and frogs, for example, and that from a survival standpoint, there's a reason you don't see this often.
The problem is, if you are a bright pink color on a dark green background, and your principal predator is a bird, hey, guess what? You really stand out.
From the sounds of it, though, Emily might soon have to take her chances back in her natural habitat.
I'm going to release her at my house.
For now, it's a rare discovery that has mother and daughter, well, tickled pink. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Louisdale, Nova Scotia.
And that is our show for this evening. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, visit ctvnewsedmonton.ca, or you can find us on YouTube. See ya.